The journey of being a self-publisher or a self-made entrepreneur of that matter, because you're basically doing everything yourself. I am going to be talking about that and my journey basically in this video. So for those who don't know, I had written a dark version of a Cinderella story and it is up on Amazon. I have published it on Amazon back in like late November, early December-ish. So it's coming up on the year mark pretty soon. But yeah, I uploaded it to Amazon. I have an ad running on Amazon. I'm not really using other platforms as of yet because I've been so busy, but I am planning on putting it up on like Facebook and using other platforms. And I'm also planning on going to bookstores and whatnot. And after today, I definitely gained more confidence because I had met up with a editor who took the time out to read my book because she was really interested. And the feedback that I got, besides certain things that I need to tweak around, certain things that I need to fix, other than that, like I got such great feedback on my book. And as someone who didn't really go to school for this, I'm doing pretty well as a self-publisher. What I mean by that I'm doing well as a self-publisher, so far on my Amazon reviews, I've been getting 4 to 5 stars, which is pretty good. One of my first sales was someone from the UK. I don't even know how, but it reached that far. Um, I've been getting great feedback from people that like I know that work at my job and stuff like that. They support and import my book, and everyone's been giving me great feedback. And I was expecting, I was expecting to get a little more bad feedback than good. Not that I wanted that, but I was expecting that and I was ready for it because I am a self-publisher. This is my first book that I put out. Although I've written other stories prior to it, this is my first book that I put out. And I was ready for the negative feedback, but so far I've been getting nothing but good feedback. And the editor that I met with, so earlier I met up with a editor who used to edit books that would be put into colleges. She helped someone who worked for the New York Post publish their book, and she's pretty up there. So when she took a liking of my book and wanted to read it and help me out for free, I was nervous, but I was like, all right. So I gave her well, actually, she bought my book, read it, and she really took the time out to just, look at the little errors that need to be tweaking. And other than that, she loved the whole book and she's excited for part two because I'm making a part two to this Cinderella story. And I was so thrown back by how excited she was and how, like, all the great things that she was saying about my book. And she even said that I'm a gifted writer, which I'm like, what? So, getting all of that genuine feedback is like, wow, because I am a self publisher. And as someone who is self publishing, especially for the first time, and you're on your own, you don't know how it's going to go. It's not like you have a team or anything. And it can be, it's you're jumping into unknown, so you don't know how it's gonna go. And it can be a little bit nerve wracking at points, but it's like you just have to do it. And that's like my best advice to give. Like, you never know. And although I gotta edit the book just a little bit, just a few things that I need to tweak around. Um, and that's because, like, I didn't want to publish my book so soon, but people kept pressuring me to like publish the book. I kept hearing, oh, when are you going to publish it? Tomorrow's never promised, stuff like that. So I was just like, all right, even though I felt like I still need to like fix some things, I don't know. I just threw it out there. And that's a good thing because now I've gotten some feedback instead of just waiting and holding out and I got to fix this, I got to fix that. I threw it out there, got the feedback, going to do a little bit of tweaking, and then, we put everything back out. It's still up right now, but I do need to fix some things. But other than that, like as a self-publisher, when you're on your own, you just never know. Like you don't know how it's going to go. So how can this help you out if you are a self-publisher or a self-entrepreneur and you want to put products out? Um it's pretty simple. Like all I've been doing, I think what helps for me is that I've been writing poetry since I was little. So as far as being like a self-publisher, I've been writing poetry since I was little. So I guess I already had a feel of like writing. Although in school, my head was in the clouds. I was always daydreaming. So, I wasn't like the best like A student in certain classes. So there's that. And I didn't go to college for this, but what helped me, I guess, was the fact that I would write poetry a lot and had a love for that, still do. And on top of that, I'm an artist, so I just naturally was just always able to draw. And I use Procreate to create my for my book, my cover. I don't know. I think from here it's like flipped a certain way. So I don't know how it's looking on the screen. But I was able to draw out my cover using Procreate. So I use Procreate a lot for like the visual effects and for my ad that I'm using on Amazon. And I've been using just an iPad, like just an iPad. That's all I've been doing, just in my room, iPad, laptop, using Google Docs to type, Adobe, I think Adobe Illustrator that I use. Um, and that's it. And I've just been really, really consistent. And we live in a time where we don't even have to like get a major production team if you don't want to. I prefer a team, but certain circumstances or whatever, I just end up doing everything myself, and it's been working out for me just fine. Also, Grammarly helps to an extent, because even with Grammarly, when I met up with the editor, she was able to point out things that Grammarly didn't even pick up. But Grammarly does help a lot. And if you didn't go to school for writing or whatever, really study, like download Grammarly, one of those apps, and really study it. Like, you'll learn so much by looking at all the errors that Grammarly is picking up from your writing. Also, YouTube helps as well. There's people who put up videos of how to, write a certain way. If you're writing on a creative aspect, or if you want to be a little bit more, I don't know, uh, sophisticated in your writing, there's videos of people talking about how to do stuff like that. And if you're not much of an artist, there's videos on YouTube where there's people teaching how to like draw. um you can find almost anything here on YouTube, like for real. But, other than that, like I said, there's really nothing much to it but being super consistent and not being as distracted. And then, of course, too, you have AI, that can do illustrations for you or whatever. I don't know anything about that because I do my best to stay as organic as possible, which brings me to one last thing. I think what helps too is whatever product that you're putting out, or if you're writing books or whatever, you have to be really passionate about what you are putting out. You gotta love, you gotta, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Like, you really got to believe in what you are putting out. And I think today there's so many people just throwing out anything just to see whatever sticks. And, that's just how the game is nowadays. But then again, it was always like that. But now it's like an abundance of people just throwing out just anything, because it's easy now to make products and just push it out online. Um, but that's not always the way to go, because you'll gain a better audience, a better fan base, putting out something that you really really like, and the people that like the same things as you will support whatever it is that you're doing. And I think I'm gaining some type of like audience or whatever of the book that I'm putting out, and I'm super excited about that. Anyways, that's all I have for this video. I hope my tips was able to help some of y'all out, whoever is planning on being a self-made entrepreneur or a self-publisher. I hope my story has helped y'all out. And yeah,